Okay, everyone, we are taking a first look at Microsoft Flight Simulator. We are playing on the Xbox Series X. Finally, I've been waiting for this forever. We are playing this on the 2nd of the 8th. This came out a couple of days ago. Keep in mind, this is a review code provided by the publisher. Not actually for the Xbox version. This was I was planning to cover this when it first came to PC, and my PC wasn't up to scuff to do this game justice. We're getting to that in a bit of a sec. So I didn't cover it then, and this is one of their most Xbox. I think all Xbox first party games are play anywhere. So because I own it on the PC, regardless if it's a review code, you would like digitally own that license, right? You can play it on the Xbox. So there's many ways to play this game. First of all, actually, let me just start here because this first loading screen does take a bit of a while, and then we'll discuss. I'm gonna let this go so you know what the first loading screen is like. Yeah, there's many ways to play this right now. This is on Xbox Game Pass, the normal version. So if you have Game Pass, you can play it on Game Pass, or you can buy the normal version, and there's a deluxe version and there's a premium deluxe version. Also, this is play anywhere. So if you do own it on PC, the Microsoft Store version, then you can play on Xbox. Because there's also a version for Steam, but that one isn't play anywhere. Only if you own the Microsoft Store version. So yeah, Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you don't know what this is, this ain't a game. I'm just gonna if you're expecting video games here, this is a game, air quotes, but this is an actual proper flight simulator. Like we played Euro Truck Simulator here. We've played car mechanic simulator. Those have way more gamey elements to this. Like, just set your expectations when you're going into this. This is a hardcore simulator. There are challenges and stuff they do like fly to point A to point B. But at its core, I've seen a lot of people speak about this and go, "Oh, I downloaded it and I played it and I wasn't impressed. Whatever. I was expecting more fun stuff to do." No, this is a simulator. Okay, just remember that going in. So this first loading screen takes about 2 minutes, but then the rest of when you actually load into a map to play whatever you want to play, that doesn't take as long. That I will show you that first loading screen also. That takes like 20 seconds. This initial loading screen does take a while though. We should probably, now we talked about how you can purchase this, now you can buy this. Let's talk about the big one here, like the size of this game and everything. We're going to get into technical details at the beginning of this, and then we're going to fly. We might do some training. There'll be a shorter version up on, there'll be shorter version going up this video go up on YouTube, and a longer version will be up on Twitch. I would assume most people who are going to be watching this are probably a little bit older, so they won't mind the longer videos. Another thing I should talk about, because we're live streaming this, usually I stream everything in 60 FPS. This game is not 60 FPS, so I purposely chose to stream this in 30 FPS, because there's no point doing a live stream and doing 60 FPS and have all that bitrate go towards 60 frames when the game isn't 60 FPS, on consoles anyway, just to waste bitrate. So I purposely, this is going to be like 720p 30, because we're live streaming. So yeah, this game is 30 FPS. It's, from what I know, is 1440p up-resed or upscaled or however they're doing it to 4K. But internally, on the Series X anyway, it's 1440p 30 FPS. So you can play this on Xbox Series S and X. We're playing on X. On Xbox Series S, it's 1080p 30 FPS. This also does have another option, which is interesting. This has variable refresh rate options, because there was loads of technical, we're gonna get nerdy into this. There's been loads of conversations around this game and the engine and how hard it is to run. People are saying this might be the next Crisis. Like, this is one of the hardest next gen, we should say, PC games to run on PC at the moment. Even the hardcore simming crowd usually likes to go for better graphics and like 30 FPS, because you don't really need crazy high FPS for this game, because you're not doing quick turns and it's not an action game, right? It's a plane simulator. So with the Xbox release, they've added the variable refresh rate, and if you activate that, if you've got a variable refresh rate television or monitor, apparently it does go to pretty high frame rates, like 60, 80, 90. Is not stable, obviously, but that shows that this game can go to a higher FPS. The reason that is important is there was a conversation going on where this game wasn't GPU bound, it was CPU bound for the longest time. In non-nerdy terms, where the way they programmed this game, it didn't take advantage of multiple core CPUs very well. And that's, we're going to get into the next point here. For the Xbox release, what the Asobo Studios have done, published by Microsoft, obviously Microsoft IP, they use Asobo third-party studio to make and develop the game. They've done a full rewrite of the game's code since it was released for PC last year, to the point where Asobo did a dev talk a couple of weeks ago for this game, and they're saying like that you could, even the PC version has like 40 or 50% performance increases now that they've done a full rewrite of the code. So if you have played the PC version, you should probably go back to check it out, because it has massive performance jumps. And one of the ways they've done that is they've rewritten the core of the code to have it take better advantage of multiple core CPUs. So with that in mind, and I think Digital Foundry did a tech analysis video that, to show that it can go in variable refresh rate mode, it can go higher frame rates. I wish they would have added more options here to show like you can have it at a lower resolution and higher frame rate. A lot of games are going, oh well, stick it to 1080p and do 60. Even again, 60 ain't really needed for this game. It would have been nice to have that option here rather than 1440p or 4K. Like have the higher frame rate option. So that's the first thing out of the way. We should get the big elephant out of the room though. Let me just go to manage game options here. Okay, this is the big game. This is a really big game. Like in total, this is over 140 gig. Now let me explain. Let me break this down to you. When you first get this, if you get this on Game Pass, or even if you got the deluxe version, it will download the basic version and then it will give you your updates in the game. Like if your deluxe content is just planes and all that, and you download that within the game. So if we look at the base game, there's two options here. When you first install this, it will install both of these. It will install Microsoft Flight Simulator and it will install World Offline Mode. So this game needs a constant internet connection to run well. They specifically made the World Offline Mode for consoles where it has like nerfed versions of Planet Earth with not like the higher res details and everything, so you can play this offline. If you're only planning to play this online, you don't need this World Offline data. That's what they've officially said, and some of their devs have been on the forums have been saying that as well. But there's been a bit of a back and forth, and a lot of people ain't covering this, so we're not actually 100% sure. So if you basically you can download the base game at 42 gig, and then you don't need this offline data if you have a constant internet connection, and it will consistently streaming the data that it needs for the world. Because the second point is, because this game needs a constant internet connection, you also need a decent internet connection, because even if you have the offline world pack installed, so when the PC version came out, the PC community tested it and they said it could take up to 12 gigs an hour of data usage. So now that the Xbox version is out, some people are saying is even higher than that. So just to be on the safe side, it can use like 12 to 15 gig an hour in data usage. Even if you have the offline data pack, it doesn't matter. It will still use, because so let's say there's a simple shape of a building, and then if you got like, once you go into the options in the game, I'll show you that in a second, it has like use Bing World Weather, or use Bing Maps, use Bing Geometry, whatever, and that's downloading like high resolution versions of world maps, and that's what takes up some of that data. That's the first thing. So if you're space conscious, or if you're playing this on Series S, which has a smaller hard drive, as soon as you download this, you can quickly go into the installer and you can delete offline world data, and you can save yourself 60 gig, which makes it 40 gig. But keep in mind, there's still tests going on with in the community to see if you really do need World Offline Mode. Because even though the devs have said, oh, it won't use World Offline Mode, some of the other devs have said, yeah, it does. It uses it for certain like traffic stuff and all that. So you might as well install it, because it benefits some. We don't know how much, but some. Because I'm doing a first look here, I thought I might as well take the hit and I'll download it just so we can show it. The second part is, soon as you install this game, it reserves like 20 gig. The reason is that it's 40 gig here, I'll explain in a second, but it reserves 20 gig because you know how I was saying that the base game is only 40 gig, but it streams in data off the internet. There's the rolling cache for this game. You Even though you can set it to like 8 gig in the games menu, it always reserves like 20 gig here because it constantly needs that for to loading that data. So if I fly through London and it downloads like 2 gigs worth of data to for all the geometry for London, then it will keep that in its cache. So if I'm constantly flying through London, it won't re-download that stuff. It will just re-download like weather and traffic stuff. So that's what it uses the cache for. So let's say you don't download the offline data and you just do the base game, which is 40 gig, and then the cache will be 20 gig. Now you're wondering like, what is the other 20 gig then? And this also comes to one of my first complaints, but also let me explain what is going on here. So as soon as you boot up the game, you install that, offline data, the base game is like 100 gig, and then it does 20 gig of cache. If you come here to marketplace, we go, let me go here. There's world updates for this game. And what world updates are, these are since the game's been out for like a year now, I think. This game has Asobo Studios have been releasing world updates for totally free, where they're increasing details in certain parts of the world. Like this is Japan bundle, this is the USA bundle, this is the United Kingdom and Ireland bundle. You get the idea, and each one of these is a couple of gig. So then that's what pushes that cache over to 40 gig. But what's also weird here is it doesn't install it in the base game files. It installs it in the rolling cache rather than just installing it in this section. I've heard some other reviewers cover it to say, oh, that's a smart thing they did because they don't want you to download, or they don't force you to download 140 gig straight away, right? Let's say you haven't got enough space, so they give you options here. I 100% agree with that option here. My only issue is, because if you install this on PC, this takes forever to install. Like you download the basic installer from the Microsoft Store, and then you download the rest of the game, like 100 gig through its own. Like you have to boot up the game to install it. That's how it installs on PC. The problem with that is it takes forever. So I downloaded the full game in probably an hour and a half, right? So over 100 gig, no problem at all, through Microsoft servers. Even the updates, I'm assuming, are through Microsoft servers. But when you download these world updates through the game, so this was 20 gig of data, and this took me like 5.5 hours to install. It's just ridiculously slow. So I understand why they've got these world updates separate, so they can reduce, because you can play the game without downloading these world updates. You can just have the basic. It's not basic; it's still very detailed, but you don't have to have these. But I wish that they would have put these updates on the game page on the official Microsoft store. When you go to the Microsoft store and there's DLC for games, like I wish they would have put it there. The only reason I wish they would have put it there is because it would have been quicker to download. Now, a lot of the reviewers had early access to this game. I didn't have early access, and a lot of them didn't speak about the performance issues, and they didn't talk about the download speeds and everything. There could be two reasons to this. One, the servers are getting hammered right now because this is probably the most activity this game's seen since launch. Because it's on Game Pass, you would assume everybody a lot of people who've got Game Pass are going to download it and try it. So that's why they're saying like the downloads are. They haven't said that officially, but like people were trying to play this day one. So I was going to originally cover this on Thursday when it first launched, but the world data and everything was taking so long to download. I was like, all right, I'm just going to test it over the weekend and we'll play it on Monday. So most of like Friday I was like updating stuff in the game. So I wish they would have put this here in the Microsoft Store. So just be prepared. If you do this world update stuff, it's going to take forever, but this is what accounts for the extra 20 gig. So now that we've got the technical information out of the way about the size of this game and everything, let's quickly go to options. Again, this is going to be a long start to this video, so I could just show you. If you have played the pre-C version, a lot of people are reporting that so this has mouse and keyboard support on consoles, but you can fully play this with a controller. Sometimes it syncs your PC settings for your controller over onto your Xbox, and people are saying, oh, it's not working properly. If you have that problem, just make sure you go in here and you go to default controls. Like right now I'm using my controller profile because I've set some stuff up. But yeah, if you do experience that, like if it doesn't let you, might even have to plug in a mouse and then delete your PC controls or boot up the PC version if you still have it on your PC and delete those PC controls. That could be the first option. There's loads of assist options here. So even though this is a hardcore simulator, you can totally play this as a noob, and we're going to be playing this exactly like that today. But or you can play this totally as a realistic flight simulator. Some people have gone and made videos to say, well, if you want to learn the game, you should probably turn off all those assists so you can actually learn to fly. But I think most people like, you're gonna have the hardcore who have been waiting for this game like me forever to come out, whose PC can't run it well and want to play this, who are probably going to properly get into this, right? But then you have the people who are probably going to boot this up like, Google Maps or something, or Bing Maps, or Google World, whatever it's called, to fly over their house and say, oh, that's cool, and then just be done with it, right? For those people, that's why I wouldn't recommend straight away, oh, turn off all these assists and everything and play it to learn to fly and everything, right? You want them to have their quick bit of fun with it, and then, if they move on, they move on. That's why I was also saying, like, you probably don't want to download that world offline data, because if you want to keep this on your drive to boot it up now and again, if it's taking up 140 gig, you might not keep this on your drive. That's why I thought I'd discuss about like how long it takes to download and the size and everything. So the next big thing here, like I said, it requires a constant internet connection if you want the best graphics. So here's the traffic stuff we were talking about. Sorry, let's go to data, not traffic. This is if you want to see real-time traffic in the game. If you go to data here, like you can like online functionality. So here's Bing data world graphics, photogrammetry. This is like the stuff that it constantly downloads, even if you got the offline pack to have like higher res buildings. So it's like this game is one-on-one trying to imitate planet Earth. And whenever you fly a plane, is one-on-one, and they got live weather and everything. So if it's raining right now where you are, it'd probably be raining in game. So for some of the stuff, the more popular countries, the more popular airports, the more popular cities, they went in Asobo Studios and manually programmed in and drew the buildings and everything for a lot of cities. For some of the other parts of the world, or majority of the world, because they can't go and do that for every single city, right? It's gonna be auto-generated like buildings and stuff using like Bing Maps data. So they've made like algorithms and stuff to how they can make buildings. So there's certain like areas you can go to, might not be a popular area, or like the map data could not be the newest, and you would see not as high resolution textures. So that's where photogrammetry and things like that will come in. Then you got live real world air traffic, see other people playing. I'm not sure if this is actual, like, regardless if they're playing or not, actual traffic, like plane traffic. I should check into that. And then the multiplayer stuff, other people are playing, and then live weather. And then you have your data limit here. It's a bit bugged at the moment because it resets after every session or every area. Like if I download London, and then while I'm in London, if I go to this, it will jump up to like 2 gig. And then if I boot in another area, it will just reset again. So this isn't fully tracking like the overall usage, but like after like an hour, we'll jump in again if I remember. And you can limit this if you want. Like you can set a limit if you want data caps to how much you want this to download, and then bandwidth limit. It's got like a 5 meg, 20 meg, 40 meg, or unlimited. I'm just gonna keep it on unlimited for right now. I have got like a 300 download, but even then I was fine. And then here's your rolling cache. Remember I told you like that rolling cache and options, like it's set to 8 gig here, but it auto sets it to 20 gig in the external file. So I don't know how much of if you turn this off, I don't know if it's gonna like reduce that size, but you should probably keep a little bit of this on so it doesn't constantly load in that stuff and stutter. But yeah, even with my kind of decent internet connection, I'm still finding certain stuff isn't loading in over the internet fast enough, and I have to pause the game for it to load in the higher resolution models and stuff. And that, I don't think that's the issue with my internet. I think that's the issue with their literal servers are getting hammered right now. So what else do we have in graphics? It's got HDR support. There's loads of camera options. Some of the shortcuts, they went unbound to the controller, so people can play this on the controller. A lot of the stuff isn't. Like, there's like a drone cam, which is very important, which people use, that isn't bound by default. So if you want better external views, so you have to manually go bind that. But but there's so much controlled stuff here. It like goes on for, hold on, where is it? Oh, that was in controlled. It goes on forever. Sound options here. I've turned off music. We'll turn it back on in a while. Another thing they could probably do is like if you have the music high, it ducks out the engine audio. I would like an option where it doesn't duck out the engine audio and you can constantly hear the engine level and just have the music on in the background. So like, we'll probably turn it off and then we'll boot up in a little while. Then you got flight models here. What else? I'm just trying to think. Oh, metric system and everything here. And that's like everything that is here in the basics of the game. And then from the main menu, you can just boot up anywhere you want in the world and fly anywhere you want in the world and just go and fly. But before you do that, you can they got training here, so you can learn to fly. So the training stuff, so hardcore is saying, is not very good. Is more like challenges rather than training, but to learn the basic controls is pretty good. And then they got their discover flight section here, which is kind of like their narrated not curated areas that you should probably go check out because they look so pretty kind of stuff. Like I've done London, and I've done like Tokyo where it's set time of day and stuff. So like if you just want to quickly boot this up, say, oh, what does it look like? But most people would probably be going into this, typing in like Bristol or wherever you live on Bristol, and then finding the nearest airport and flying from there. When you fly, you can choose to fly from an airport, or you can literally like click anywhere and this goes set departure point, and then you'll fly basically from there, or you can, and then it will give you the option to fly, and then you can go here. You can like do stuff like choose whichever planes you want. Keep in mind this is the deluxe version. So if you're using the Game Pass version, which I imagine most people will be, you won't have all of these here, all of these planes here. So what does come with the deluxe and premium versions? Obviously, it comes with more planes, and also it comes with like certain cities and airports. I think I'm not sure. See, certain airports are like fully handcrafted, basically. Like they didn't use the auto generated algorithm. They went in and adjusted that stuff themselves, if that makes sense. There was some issues, people going like they wasn't getting deluxe edition content, and they said they was gonna send people messages through the messages app on Xbox. I think my message might have just come through, so if I'm missing some stuff here, that's probably why it is. But that message literally just came through right now, and I can't do that while I'm streaming. And then you got different libraries, and what else have we got here? Just go into hardcore details, and then you got like the flight conditions you can set here. Like you can turn on traffic, or you like live players. I don't know how. I think you can turn on and off live weather. Again, there's loads of options here. I haven't figured out everything, but there is a way to. I know when you go in game, you can set custom weather. So like you can see what it would be like when it's snowing and stuff. So if now that's all the technical stuff out the way. Oh, what's in activities? These are like, again, like things you can do to gamify it more. Landing challenges, bush trips, and all that. But again, this is a simulator. This isn't this ain't really a game. This is just stuff that they've added to make it, more like, oh, we give people stuff to do. So the basic handling challenge, I've done this off stream. So let's quickly go into something, and this is like an hour take you through this, but this is just like basic controls. And then what we'll probably do is we'll do a lot of these challenges, because we can't really play this game unless we learn all of this stuff. Like if you're going to take off and landing, there's so many challenges here. So I'll jump into one of these just to explain what everything is here, and then what we'll do is we'll go through a few of those training sessions. Probably shorter video up on YouTube, longer video up on Twitch. So if you're curious, and it'll be a better quality video up on Twitch as well, because as soon as you upload and export stuff to YouTube, it crushes the quality. But these first bunch of trials take like an hour, but I'll quickly just run through. So if you can watch this bit of the video and then you can pick it. Like this is all you basically need to fly and have fun. just do these first set of challenges because it tells you the controls basically, and then that's all you basically need.
The art of maneuvering a plane through the air isn't a mystery to you anymore. Now it's time to test the skills you've learned.
Okay.
As you can see, we're cruising at 6,000 feet on a north heading of 360 degrees. Start by descending to 5,500 feet while maintaining a northerly heading.
Hopefully she doesn't fail me. But basically, these are how all the challenges go.
That's okay.
Let me jump back out into like an actual flight because she's gonna keep failing me. All right, so let's go welcome. Let's go world map. Let's just I'm just gonna pick pick somewhere, anywhere, pick somewhere. Any requests in the chat? Wherever this is. All right, here we're gonna go set as departure and we're gonna go fly. Let me just show you what it tells you in that first lesson. That's all you basically need to fly. You won't be able to land or take off, but you'll be able to fly in the sky. And if you like, when you go to an airport, if you click on a runway, it will automatically put you on a runway, and then you can do takeoff and landing. If you go to one of the bays in the airport, then you have to do all the manual procedures of boot up your engine, warm up your engines, and things like do all your checks. So it depends how hardcore nerdy you want to go. You can go straight into the sky. You can start on the runway, or you can start on one of the bays, whatever the official term for it is. So yeah, so this is a different plane, obviously. So yeah, so if you press in the left stick, it turns it into like mouse pointer mode, and then while you're in mouse pointer mode, a lot of these options will come up. Like it will show you like basic controls and stuff. It'll let you like map stuff. You can like toggle like tooltips and all that. You have to close each one, unfortunately. Some people have said it's best to like plug in a mouse with this and a controller, like use the controller to fly, but a mouse to like go through stuff. But yeah, that's how you get into mouse pointer mode, and then if you press it again, it goes off. If you press the Windows button or the option button or whatever they call it here on Xbox controller, not the start, the other button, that's how you change views. You can go internal, external view. Right view is camera, left view, left stick is to move your stick. Obviously is inverted. And then like if you press A is to like throttle up, B is to throttle down. You can see it right there. If you use your left and right, can we see it here? No. If you use your left and right triggers, then you can change your. I'm gonna totally blank on the name of that now. It's not called a fin. It's called something. So if you want to do like small banks, like if you want to go right rather than going like this, you probably use your triggers to like do small adjustments. Let's go here. So that's what that does. If you hold down left bumper, it activates like a shortcut mode. So then you can like do shortcuts to like where you want to view. Also, it lets you fully, while I'm holding down L bumper, it lets you fully move the controller. So if you want to go closer to your your instrument panel and see stuff like that. Also, while you're here, you can set like a custom view. So if I want to set a custom view here, I set it here, and then while I'm holding L left bumper, I press B. Now this is set as a custom view. So if I reset the camera and I press L left bumper and Y, I can switch between my custom saved preset view or just go back to the default one. Also, you can up and down on the D-pad set stuff here. So this is kind of important because when you're in the plane, this is your view stuff. If you hold LB and press A, it will point you toward points of interest that are on the map. And the other big thing here is if we go to external view, see where it says trim there? So, oh, actually, no, I'm jumping up. I'm jumping for a tiny bit. So it also explains to you what your instrument panel does. Like you have your airspeed indicator, you have your, this plane hasn't even got everything that I used. Your RPM indicator. So that's like, depending on like how fast your engines are going, that's how fast you're actually going in the airspeed is actually how fast you're going in the air. You have your fuel indicator here. These are all working and these are all important. Then you have your altitude, which explains how high you are off the ground. And then this blue thing here, I can lower it with the bumpers here. This is like the angle of your plane. So whenever you're flying, you always want to, what the game teaches you anyway. We go here. No, where's my, hold on, there you go. Like whenever you go anywhere, you always want to be aiming for the horizon. So if you want to stay straight and not decline or incline, just point toward the horizon. Obviously, if you want to bank, it tells you like do small banks like this when you go right, or small banks like this when you go left. Depending on if you turn on all those hardcore options, doing too heavy a banking can like break your plane. Obviously, if you go too high up, like that's the stall indicator to show that you're losing power, and then you're like, it will literally bring your plane down. That's what that warning light is. So everything's a adjustment depending on like where your throttle is and you know, how much speed have you got, because you got to remember, right, if you're going too much of an incline, then you haven't got enough speed to actually incline, and you end up declining. And then it, like the game teaches you, like if you wanna incline, set your throttle to full, and then like go like a tiny bit over the horizon line. So if we go back, just turn off. If we go back here and then look at that, so like there's the horizon line, but if we want to incline, we should be aiming for like there or like there. See where those marks are? Like that's how we should be inclining. We shouldn't be going like big inclines like this. I've heard that they're gonna bring in like jet fires and stuff, and something to do with licensing stuff with the new what's that new Tom Cruise movie? But it's not here yet. So what else do they teach you? Oh, and then the last thing they teach you is, hold on, I'm trying to think if that's everything. The last thing they teach you is trim. Now trim is like super important because what's the best way to explain trim? Trim is like, it's always resetting your left stick to like neutral, or like, so a plane is always gonna wanna go, like depending on where my throttle is always gonna wanna go, my nose is always gonna wanna go higher or lower, or it could be depending on my engine torque, it could make my plane turn left and right. We haven't got to that lesson yet, but like your nose is always going to be going forward and down. Now, if you don't want to be constantly holding your analog stick to make sure, you know, you're always pointing at the horizon. See, look, my nose is pointing down now, so that means I'll be losing altitude slowly. What you can do is you can set trim. So what trim does, see on the bottom right hand side, you can see where next to flat says trim. That is basically me setting where I want my default left analog stick to point. So I can set it. You hold right bumper and then you use right stick to adjust trim. So you press up and down. So see where I'm setting my trim like this high now. Now I'm not pressing anything on the left analog stick. The reason my plane's going down now because we haven't got enough speed. But see, now my nose is always pointing up now. Obviously, you wouldn't do big adjustments like this. What you would normally do is you would set your trim to where it, you know, it would stay, the plane would stay balanced. So you would use a lot of trim to say when you're landing or when you're just naturally flying, you know what I mean? When you're flying and you just want to look around and you don't want to always be adjusting your left stick or your yoke to, like, you know, go forward and back. So that's why you would use trim a lot. So you want to be using trim a lot so you don't constantly fiddling with your left stick. So that's about everything it teaches you. Let's go. That's everything it teaches you in that first set of trials. And that's basically all you need to fly. Like literally, that's all I've used so far, and I've been flying around, you know. And because a lot of the assists are on, you can do crazy stuff, and your plane won't, you know, the wings won't fall off, whatever, or like won't bank into a stall. Oh wait, I totally lied. Okay, wow. I guess I haven't got all the assists on. But if you do stuff like that and it says, oh no, this is too much of an angle, your plane would actually break here, then it would do stuff like that. But if you turn on all like non-realistic damage, then you can basically play this how you want. And that's basically what the first set of tutorials teaches you, and you can get like marks on all of them. So you know, I just explained that quicker. Opening toolbar, camera panning, creating and saving custom views, you know, how to fly your plane, your throttle, what your stick does, your rudder pedals. That's what they're called, rudders. And then familiarizing yourself with like points of interest, and pitch up and down. I explained that, like if you want to go higher or lower, you know, and then, you know, your throttle speed and like how to climb and descend, right? So like think of this as a hill, right? You know, if you're like you're on a bike and you're cycling up a hill, the higher the hill is, the more power you need to put into the pedals to go up that hill, right? But you can like your legs can totally get burnt out after a while, so you always have to adjust that. And then it shows you best practice of how to turn using, you know, your banking angles, power settings for throttle. We spoke about that. And this is just telling you about like your airspeed and some of your like panels, and then this just kind of gives you a final like evaluation test. And that's basically, if you just want to fly and you don't want to land anything, that's all you need. It will take like an hour and a half to do. It would be quicker, but they always load you out of the next tutorial, and you got to load into the next tutorial, so that takes it extra long. If it was just like move on to the next one, it doesn't reload you out. You could probably do this in 40 minutes, but it might take you like an hour and a half, because the pacing of it. And you can totally go out and fly however you want, as long as like you remember that stuff about, you know, if you go into the world map, you have to set a departure point for you to fly there. And because people are like, wait, I pick an area and a postcode and everything, but it still won't let me fly. That won't. You actually have to click somewhere and set as departure. And as soon as you set as departure, then it will let you fly from there. And go have fun with this game. You know, that's like the basis of everything. And then is like a flight simulator. You know, if we quickly go on one of these discovery flights, let's go. Let's go New York. Why not? Also, this will show you that the loading time difference, depending on if you're like the initial loading screen when you're booting up the game, actually to load in an area and a map, this is way quicker. These are like set destinations, so this will start you off in the sky, not from a runway. And with those first basic bit of lessons, you can totally have as much fun as you want. You know, just remember going in that this is a simulator, not really a game. So, you know, don't expect, oh, you know, why I haven't got challenges to do and all those. Like there are some, but it's still a flight simulator. And there you have it. This is flight simulator. You know, you can change the plane you want to use, and like have as much fun as you like. I'm just gonna increase throttle here. Like, I haven't even learned all the lessons myself yet. I still don't know how to adjust flaps or like landing gear in or out. This plane's landing gear is always out. So we're gonna talk about so let's just talk about more general stuff, and then we're gonna do like a boring longer video where we just cover a lot of the training missions, tutorials, so we can actually learn the game ourselves. That video will be up on Twitch. See here, you can still see stutter and judder here. So a lot of people a lot of content creators who had early access didn't talk about this at all. They was like, oh, most of the stuff, it works totally fine. There's no glitches and frame drops or anything. And everybody who's covered this after the initial preview period are easily finding these bugs. So the only thing that I can think of is, because a lot of this data is streamed in like live. I'm going too fast. Hold on, me slow. A lot of this data is streamed in live. That's basically what's going on. That's what's causing like the hitching and stuff. Like people have been like trying to like delete the offline data, have like stuff not streaming and see what it is, but we haven't, like, they haven't really found out what's going on. But it even on the Series X, it doesn't run flawlessly. And I think that is because their servers are getting hammered, and you know how much stuff it is loading in. So keep that in mind. I hope we can show it off here, where like I can see like pop in and stuff. Oh, I better speed up. But you know, very nice looking game. Obviously, if you get close to stuff, like I've been playing the flight simulator games since, like, you know, those early Windows 98 stuff, and you know, massive jump and improvement from there. But if you do get close to stuff, certain cities look way better than others. But when you get up close to stuff, everything isn't like modeled. Obviously, this is New York, so you would expect like a lot of this stuff will be modeled better. But even in London, some people are saying like, oh, a lot of this stuff isn't like modeled in correctly. It's like classic like racing game stuff, right? When you stop your car and like actually zoom into stuff, you're like, oh, okay, well, you know, it doesn't look fantastic up close, but really and truly, sure, it's going to be a real buzz for you to, everybody's going to do this. I did this. You're going to find your house and try fly over your house and be like, oh wait, that isn't using the latest map data, it doesn't look that great. But most of the time when you're flying, you really ain't going to be doing this kind of stuff, right? You're going to be higher into the sky, and it's just meant to give you like a, you like, here, look at this building isn't like drawn in properly, right? And some people are saying like, if you, so that's probably the offline data. So if I pause it here and to see, if I wait here a second and see if it loads in, actually while I do this, if I go to general options now and we go to data, see how you can see this is how much data is loaded in this current session. So just while flying in here is already downloaded like 1.2 gigs. So you need, if you want to have like the best textures and everything, you need a good internet connection. Just keep that in mind. You don't need the fastest internet connection, but I reckon you at least need like 100 meg, right? Otherwise you're gonna see like way more pop in and stuff. Okay, hold on. So yeah, but like, see how everything, like this building looks better. Hold on, let me focus on the flying. Like some buildings are drawn in way better than others, right? And some is just use that basic algorithm, not basic, but they've invented an algorithm where it can use map data and add geometry and everything to a lot of buildings. So as long as you keep your expectation in check. I don't know if I'm being honest, I don't know if I'm as awestruck as how everybody else said, oh my god, this is like a true next gen game and everything. Like, I've been playing flight simulator games for a long time, and from compared to what I played when I was a kid, like, oh my god, this looks amazing. Absolutely, this is like super fun to play and everything. Or I don't know if play is the right word, you know, but like this ain't like what's the best way? Even chat is going, yeah, I've noticed a lot of people expect the expectations too high. Honestly, I think this ain't the studio's fault, or this ain't Microsoft's fault. I think this is a content creator and a forum problem, where people are saying, oh, this could be the new crisis, and like, you know, you're gonna use this forever to you know, test your PC and how good it is and all that. like at the end of the day, it's still loading in map data and using algorithms to draw buildings, right? You know, this ain't ray tracing or anything like that. Like what, like they've got to go realism with this. That's the key with this, right? What can they basically do to make it like crazy? You see what I'm saying? Like this is as nice as they could make map data look. You see what I mean? So just when you go in first, just keep that in mind. For a sim, this looks fantastic. The cloud stuff and everything looks absolutely crazy. That stuff definitely looks insane. But at its core, this is still a sim game. Like, keep that in mind. We just go pause here a second, chat. Yeah, so, but, where was I? Sorry, I was interrupted for a second. Yeah, that's not for me to, don't take that as me saying this game doesn't look good. Or, no, people are overhyping this and is an ugly looking game, whatever. That's just me saying, just keep, like, a lot of people are going to be playing this on Game Pass. So this is just me saying, remember, this is still a flight sim. Remember, there's only so much they can do with map data. Absolutely, there's at points, like, if you look at this, like, there's at points where this game looks fantastic, but it's still a flight sim game, and it's still, like, recreating real buildings. See, there is loading and stuff, but, like, a lot of people haven't talked about that loading and stuff when they played. See right there, even though I'm super close, if we go around here again, and again, I've got a fast internet connection. I feel like maybe if you play this game in a few weeks' time, where a lot of people who wanted to just pick this up for a first look may get bored with it, this stuff might, if I pause it here, does that improve? Also, with the latest patch, they changed some load distance stuff, and I don't know if that's made a difference. So yeah, and I think I got caught up in that because I tried to run this on my PC when it initially came out, and I just couldn't handle the loading times. So it's great that they've reworked the engine for the PC and the console version because it runs much better now. Loading times are improved a lot. It's way more pick up and play friendly, right? I think that's the best way to put it. And like it's got that hardcore aspect of it, and they're continuing to work on that. When the game first came out, a lot of the X-Sim, I think that's what it's called, like that hardcore flight sim community said a lot of the models, like a lot of the air on certain parts of the wing and all that didn't react like correctly, and they've been slowly working to improve that kind of stuff, to make it way more simmy for the hardcore community. But this is, I wonder is this the best sim looking game? Like, what else have we got as a hardcore sim? We've got Euro Truck Simulator, and then you got some of the iRacing simulators, right? This is probably the best looking simulator in the world now. Like people say, like those some of those other plane simulators, they probably have better physics and mechanics. But even the hardcore simming community comes to this, they say, wow, this just looks so nice comparatively to those other sims. But yeah, at its core, this is what this game is. Because I kept an eye on the forums and like the bug reports and stuff to see what's going on, to see what is the general opinion of just the general crowd, right? And I think that's the problem most people have as well. Is like they go in expecting something else and don't realize what this is basically. But again, like to people who come in knowing what this is freaking is great. I can boot up some of those older flight sim games that I played on like Windows 98, and I'm like, God, stuff has changed. And I'm gonna get into. I wonder if I can. How long it will take me to fly into these clouds. We'll probably load up. I haven't like flown any of the Boeings or any of the bigger planes, but we can try show that off. But what we're gonna do is like do a section of full on full-on training here. Let me adjust my trim so the nose is always pointing up. They are continuing to work on this, so they are going to make improvements. Like I said, they've done World Update 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are working on World Update 6. I don't know what that is like coming this year. I don't know what section they're going to aim for. What part of the world they're going to aim for there. Yeah, I just like go in with the set your expectations accordingly. You know, this ain't like the next gen patch for like Asobo's what was there, A Plague's Tale Innocence, right, where you're saying like, oh, real reflections, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. You know, you can only make the real world look nice to extent, right? You know, it's a concrete jungle. How much can we make this look nice? You know what I'm saying? So but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I played it over the weekend, you know, tried to find my house. Very difficult to do because everything moves so fast. But like, that's what we're coming to the next point here before we call it a first look for the YouTube video, before we go on longer. So here, if I press the view button, if I reset this view here, if I press the view button and A, like if I can get this to work, I've bound this myself. This is their orbital cam, so this is how you like get great shots and like move away from your plane and stuff like that. But by default, this isn't bound to a control key. You actually have to go in and bind this yourself, and when you're in this view here, your plane's still flying but you have no control over it. I should go back into my plane. Let me reset here. But yeah, so there's some like important stuff that isn't bound. Like, they try to do the best that they can to obviously make this more accessible for controller players. Even when I booted up the PC version, I haven't got a flight stick and all that. I was playing this on controller, so it feels great to play on a controller. Like, naturally, if you actually think about real pilots, right, they actually have a joystick in their hand, so you know, flying with a joystick fits right at home here. If people have gone in and turned the sensitivity settings down because they said the sense might be a little bit too high to make like small turns, but they fully have those options here, so you can go like super in depth. Excuse me. Like, a lot of the flight sticks work on the Xbox as well, like the popular ones, and I think a lot of them are getting updated. If you have got a flight stick or you're planning to buy one, you should probably go online and just to check to make sure your stick is compatible. All right, let's go. Let's turn my trim back to... My apologies if I ain't getting all the terminology right. Like I said, I have just done the first tutorial, and that's all. The first section of tutorials. That's all you basically need to fly. Uh-oh. Might be going a bit too fast here. We're quickly load in one more area. And then we're going to sit on Twitch and just do training sessions. Because my goal is to fly a Boeing. I'm not even sure if the Boeing is in the base game. I hope they include one of the bigger planes. Like, even with the Deluxe Edition, that's one thing I was kind of... Like, I was like, oh, like, all the planes... oh, Chai's going, it is? Okay. Like, even with the Deluxe Edition that I've got here, I was like, huh, this is not really... I would like to see more planes. Well, not more planes. Different types of planes. Like, you have, like, this plane. I don't know the correct name for it. And there's, like, 5 different types of this plane. So it may have been nicer to see like way more varied type of aircrafts. And oh, the last thing I should talk about is like the modding community like has fully embraced this game, and all that is going to be compatible with the console version. But this is like the modding community have to make those mods available for the console version, but a lot of that stuff is paid. I mean, rightfully so, right? There's if people are putting in work to develop their own planes and instruments or whatever, or like design their own areas in the world. They can't do that for free. Like one part of me is like, that whole, they make a game and then they leave it and then they expect the community to do parts of that work to fill it out, which I kind of raise my eye at. But then this is one of those like hardcore projects where realistically, even though they're making a sim game, they wouldn't do certain stuff, right? There's like a sat nav that is an improved sat nav that the one that comes in the game that is way more realistic or some stuff like that, right? That you wouldn't realistically expect for them to do, and then the modding community picked it up to like get that kind of stuff working. But that stuff all costs money, and just keep in mind a lot of that stuff can get expensive. Um, but yeah, if as long as the modding community make the like code those versions for the Xbox, then you can get those in the Xbox in-game marketplace. Um, from what I understood, a lot of the community might not be too happy with them, even though like us as gamers, we like this. Remember I was talking in the beginning that they redid the whole code to make it run like 40-50% better. Apparently that broke a lot of the community mods and stuff, so the modding community might have to rework their mods and assets and stuff, which I can understand why they're frustrated with. But from us as a user perspective, right, the game runs better if you have it on PCs, like 40-50% better performance. Like, we obviously love that, but apparently there was some complaints there. I don't know the hardcore what's going on, but I would assume is because they didn't have enough heads up, or like they didn't get early access to it where they could update their code. I'm assuming that's what's going on. One thing that isn't fully modeled here, I should say, like everything's fully modeled, crashes are not fully modeled. And I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory. You don't need me to explain like why they're not, because you can just imagine this game would be a PR nightmare, because there's always going to be some jackass who's probably going to make some clip or something. Oh, look, I flew into a freaking building or some shit like that. So that's not because, it would, like, let's not do lazy dev rhetoric here or anything like that. They purposely haven't modeled in certain crashes. You can use your own imagination to understand why. So that's the only thing that air quotes realistically isn't modeled here. But I don't think too many people are raising their eyes at to say why. One thing people are raising their eyes at to say why is like certain stuff with like bridges and stuff, like for the bigger cities anyway, are not modeled in. And people would like to see more. Like, there are some bridges in, but a lot of the big famous bridges are not in, because people want to fly under bridges, right? That's what people want to do in a plane, right? So maybe they could do work there, because that would be cool. But yeah, so I hope they work on that. And again, like I said, they have continued to work on this. Like, after the game released, imagine doing a full rewrite of the engine. That's a lot of work, right? Well, you could probably argue like maybe they shouldn't have done a single core engine initially when they made this game. Like, come on, even when this game came out, it was 2020. So like, see some of that stuff here that isn't loaded in. Now I don't know if I pause it here, does that load in eventually, or is this just using full map data? So yeah, here's where you could see some of the popping and some of the bugs. But only time will tell if this is because everybody's playing this at the moment, because they don't give us player data on this, or if this is just chat says that this is normal. We'll have a look. That's normal. Okay. But some stuff I have seen, I've literally pressed pause, and it fully loads in the higher res textures and stuff. So if we just quickly go, let's go out to the main menu, and let's like load in one or two more areas, just so you can see what the game looks like, right? Because we spent 40 minutes of this game just talking about like technical stuff here. Let's do some of this more discover flight stuff, because I feel like that's what people will find interesting. We've done a lot of cities. Let's do if chat has any should we do Nepal? Actually, we'll do Everest, and then we'll do actually, can we do Everest in a, does it not let us change plane here? I think the planes are set here. Yeah, because these are like their, you know, we're gonna set it for whatever plane. You could probably find your own plane and whatever plane you want. Maybe we should sell one of those bigger planes off. I'm scared though, Chad. I haven't driven one of those, okay? Yeah, some of chat is saying some of the Bing map data is better in certain countries. But even that can be hit and miss. Like London, you would have expected, right, to be one of the better ones. And for them to like draw in that data properly. But like obviously I don't know London well, but I know London well to say, well, there's certain parts of London where it looks off. But again, that could be just like how old their data is and stuff. So I'm not really sure. But yeah, when it comes to like non-building stuff, like there's only so much they can do to make a concrete jungle look good, right? You know, it can look a bit, you know, sure, these are just buildings. But when it comes to stuff like this, then it just looks like, you know, absolutely fantastic. I almost, the Crew 2, I've got that on PlayStation. Ooh, that was a fast turn. I almost booted that up because that has this plane flying mode where you can fly over certain parts of America. I just wanted to show you A/B stuff, but I didn't have the hard drive space. You know, like stuff here, I feel like this is where this game comes into its own. But again, because you know, artistically, you can make mountains and stuff look way better, right? You know, how good can you make a square building look? You know, rectangle, oblong, whatever. Yeah, very, like cool is the way I want to describe this game. Uh-oh, I'm not gonna make that cheat. Okay, let me hold on. Mistakes were made. Okay, I'm just creating artificial tension. Pro streamer. But yeah, like I've heard that maybe the latest update kind of nerfed clouds and stuff. I'm not sure. I think the hardcore community have said that, like draw distance on some of the clouds and stuff. Yeah, what I might personally do, like obviously I have to download everything just so we can show off in the first look. I might delete that offline data just so this game's under 100 gig or around about there, where I can keep it on my Series X, where you know, because if you go in here, I've turned off the music stuff, so I can just let me go here. You can also, it has fully autopilot, so you can set autopilot destinations and everything and just chill. So like I can just turn on like music. Hold on, let's go here. Apply and save and just like relax to this game on in the background. If you have autopilot stuff on, you can turn on and off a lot of these. You can turn on and off a lot of these. Let me adjust my trim because we're going too high. You can turn on and off those panels, whatever, when you're in this view. Totally messed up the moment. Audio's got to go higher. Actually, let's turn on to full. So yeah, they cut down the engine noise when you want to when you turn the music high. I wish there was a better option where they would keep the engine sound higher. I want to hear both things. you know, when you look at this kind of stuff, then you're like, whew, wow, this is a good looking game, right? This is where that stuff comes into play. And again, for those flight sim community, this is what they're going to be doing, right? They're going to be setting long destinations. They're going to be flying from one country to the other. You know, scrubs like us are going to fly over our house and then maybe not pick it up again. You know, I am, but you know what I mean? Like generally, that's what people are probably going to do, right? The hardcore simming community, you know, are doing their own kind of thing. Like I saw on like Reset Era and stuff, where people were like, okay, let's get together and let's set a departure point from A to B and let's all fly there and, you know, gamify it out themselves, set challenges and missions for themselves. Uh-oh, he's not happy at something. I haven't learned that. I don't know how to. Okay, oh, there. Up on the D-pad is landing gear. Somebody better tell this video game I don't know how to put it back up. Chat, somebody help me how to put a landing gear back up. All right, let's load in one more area. Can't walk around planes or anything. Chat is failing me. They're like, oh no, we don't know. None of us have got to that lesson. I feel like everybody, and again, a lot of each plane is different, and a lot of these instrument panels and everything are like mapped fully. Like you can go in and like a lot of these like buttons work, right? Master panel lights, you know, see how it comes on. And if you want to go in the Boeing to fully adjust like pilot display, windshield wiper. Oh, okay. Yeah, we need this. We need it on fast. Does that work? Ah, shit. Okay, hold on. Okay. Well, windshield wiper came on as well. Ah, even the windshield wiper panicked. Calm down, okay? Like I said, professional broadcaster. I do this to create tension. Do you know what we're gonna do here purposely, actually? So this is like the stuff that the game would tell you to do, right? So it would say bring up this and then look at your controls to see like where some of the basic controls are. Basic layout, camera modifier, instrument panel. See, and a lot of it is like unassigned. And then you would actually go into the option menu to like fully assign that stuff. Because again, a controller only has so many buttons on there, right? You know, they could only have done so much. Maybe some of the basic controls they could have assigned a bit of, like, you know, for scrubs like us. I bet you there's like a modifier button. Oh, windshield wiper still okay, freaking out. But yeah, not all of the buttons ain't functional. Like I know some people are saying with the Boeing stuff, like everything isn't functional, and we don't know if they ever will get to a point where everything is functional. And like maybe the hardcore community will pick that to make where every single fine detail on every single plane is functional. But a lot of it is like the important stuff is. All right, let's go here. Let's load up one more area, and I mean that'll be a good first look at this game. You know, it is on Game Pass right now, so you know your mileage can vary as much. I feel like if you got an Xbox at this point, you probably got Game Pass, right? Let's go. Should we go Giza? Gaza? What was Giza? Jeez. Got Gaza on the mind. Let's go. Yeah, so this internal loading stuff, when it goes to an actual location, is pretty fast. I don't know why that first loading screen is so slow. Is it on SSD, the M.2 drive internal? I wish that would be a little bit faster, because maybe they could hide some of that loading while you're picking a flight and stuff. That 2-minute wait time in the beginning is a little bit, because sometimes you just have an urge to, oh, I just want to quickly go in. See, because this was quick. That was like under 20 seconds. Like you just want to quickly have a like 20-minute fly around, right? And then move on to the next thing. All right, the music loaded in now. Turn into ASMR stream, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your captain speaking. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. I'd appreciate it very much. That people are setting this to like autopilot and just having it as their screensaver on in the back. The internal cockpit view does look way nicer than the. I don't know if that's because when you're in the internal cockpit view, it's got less to load in view wise, so it can make those sections look sharper. If you look at that same thing here, I don't know, maybe just narrows the view draw distance stuff. And again, this is one-on-one. Sure, a lot of the map data might be outdated, like a couple years old and not as high res textures, but generally speaking, this is one-on-one world map data. So, you know, going from the flight simulator games I used to play in my day. This is pretty cool. It would be nice to see like how many people stick with this, or is it see like those clouds and the pop in and draw distance, like a lot of those technical videos on YouTube led me to believe, oh, you don't see that as much on the Series X. I'm still seeing it here, and I don't know if that's because of the latest patch or, you know, that's just internet connection stuff. Something else that we'll probably find out in a couple of weeks after the initial bunch of players like drop this. We got a custom view set here. We have have we got any? Does this work? That button? You can totally get rid of the yoke if it's in your way. You know, if you don't want to see it moving around and stuff. You know, for your immersion. They changed the controls for the console release. Yeah, this might be this might be my new perfect chillax game. You know, it's like to relax and play. You know. Or stop saying, you know, but this is a cool product. Like, if you haven't got Game Pass, like, you probably don't need the deluxe version, the premium versions. You can get all of this in the basic version, right? Just the price of a video game. There isn't like a next generation tax on this. Again, this is on a 720p stream, so you might not be able to see all of this. My apologies, but we're live streaming this, so. And again, the game is locked to 30 FPS. That's why I stuck the stream on 30 FPS today. Man, the time of day really does this area justice. Concrete has never looked this good. Can I land on the airport? On the motorway? I'm gonna. This is gonna fail so badly. Pretend like the cars weren't there, okay? This is gonna go so badly. This is gonna go so badly. I should set trim as well. I should have set trim. Hold on. I'm setting trim. I'm setting trim. More trim. More trim. More trim. Also hasn't loaded. See, hasn't loaded in like data here. Oh, I landed. Pro streamer. Okay, that's the first time I've landed. I don't know what the parking brake is. I don't know. Okay. Okay. The car is actually driving off the road. Oh my God, this lunatic. And that's how you land. Yeah, I set a little bit of trim so you always ain't going like back and forth, so your plane ain't bouncing up and down. Can we take off again? Jack, this is not a plane now, it's a car. It's one of those plane cars, chat. Come on. You see this in the news? Like a glove. Again, though, see when you get up close, then you can start seeing some of that stuff. But like, you know, you ain't usually, you're landing at airports, okay? It was touch and go there for a second, but Captain Fantastic saved us. Beautiful day to fly. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, we're gonna try one of those big planes just for like a minute, and then we are going to do some hardcore tutorialing over on Twitch. All right, so let me just show you how you would do like you would pick anywhere in the world, and like I don't know. Actually, should we show off night? We haven't shown off night. Let's show off night. Let's go. Ooh, my geography is so good. So good. I didn't even need to take it in school. I took history. Melbourne, sure. Oh, let's probably not. Let's set as departure. Let's pick one of these. This is gonna be a mistake. Big planes. The Dreamliner. All right, we'll go Dreamliner. Go back, and then let's go. Hopefully, it loads it in that night.
Melbourne Center, Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray
Oh god,
787.
it's too dark. I can't see.
78X 16 miles south of Yankee Romeo Yankee Whiskey 5500.
Oh, this was a mistake. Am I flying?
Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787 Melbourne Center. Squawk 7537.
Squawk 7537.
Oh, I'm totally flying. Okay, but like
Boeing 787 radar contact
maybe
13
I
miles
shouldn't
south of Yankee Whiskey,
if you go
6,100
over a city,
altimeter 29.76.
if you go over a city where there's lights,
Roger, Boeing 787.
can we get to a city quick enough? All right, pro streamer made mistakes here. I thought there would be enough city lights where we are, but I literally picked in the middle of nowhere. I went full throttle. Probably should turn. Okay, no. Oh, sorry. I'm mistakes made. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh god.
Boeing 787 contact Melbourne Center on 118.6. Good day.
I don't know if we're gonna make it there.
118.6. Boeing 787. Melbourne Center, Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787 6,100 feet.
Oh god.
Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787.
My controller is going nuts. I don't know what I did. I'm sorry. Okay. I think the APU is what you do to when you like want to boot up your. We'll be fine. Oh, you know why it isn't loading in? I think I might be too high. What's my... Hold on. If we go lower, can we... Oh, I crashed. Okay. Well, let me... let me load in an actual area with that is not night so I can show off the Boeing. Okay, mistakes were made. First fail of the day. Okay, hold on. I think I might have been too high. That's why it wasn't showing off. Like... Let's go show off here. We're gonna pick right. Sure. Oh, is that an airport? I haven't learned to take off from an airport, so I can't shut it off. I mean, do people want to see airports? Okay, hold on. Can I find... That looks like an airport. But what you would do for airport stuff is if you click on one of the hangars or parking spots, then it would make you do all the flight checks and everything. But if you like just set it off on the runway, then what you can do is you can skip all the... If I click here and go set as departure and go fly and skip all that stuff. That says only 5,000. I'm not sure why, but shouldn't have lights been like building lights been loading in there? I purposely saved all the training missions, the harder ones, for the stream, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying. I was like, let me learn basic controls, and then we'll do the hardcore stuff on stream. And then I got caught up showing a first look. So we get to that in a couple of minutes. All right, chat says we weren't over a city in town. I thought I would have seen the airport stuff though. All right. Okay, let's just show this Boeing off. And that'll be a good first look at this. And then we're gonna do some hardcore stuff.
Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787 ready at runway 31 straight out departure.
And I pick a time where it's like super raining. I hope the parking brake isn't on because I don't know how to turn it off. All right, I'm going throttle up. Oh, to disengage the parking brake, press. Oh my God, we're going. Uh-oh. Ah! Okay, we might have to do something with flaps here. I have no idea. There is like a like if you bring this up, you can bring up like a checklist kind of thing. Oh, toggle autopilot, ATC. Oh no, hold on. Wait, hold on. Oh no. Okay, hold on. No, are we flying? Oh my God, we're flying. I never had any doubts in my mind. Maintain semi-throttle, climb, add engine power age, reduce engine power to retract flaps and take off. Okay. This is a great way to show off this game in the middle of fog. What was I saying? Something about
Boeing 787 leaving my airspace frequency change.
like you can turn on
Executive
like a
tower
checklist
Alpha,
here,
Sierra, X-ray
and it will like you can
787
go
frequency
through
change.
like stuff like, oh, this is everything I've got to do
X-ray 787 is
to
type
like
Boeing
learn.
B78X 3 miles northwest of Redbird, 2,900 feet.
Okay,
Request
could you
clearance
video
to
game? Could you
transition
tell me how
from
to?
airspace. Boeing Alpha,
Yeah,
Sierra,
I
X-ray
need
787
to
regional approach.
landing gear,
Squawk
landing gear, landing gear, landing gear.
Squawk 524 Boeing 787. Boeing 787 radar contact 4 miles northwest of Redbird, 4,700 feet. Cleared through the Bravo airspace. Cleared through the Bravo airspace.
On
Boeing
the PC
787.
version, there is like a zoom in and out, but
Boeing
unfortunately,
787 contact regional
ooh,
approach
we
on
just went.
1350
Wow.
975. Good day.
Yeah, on the PC version, there is like a zoom in and out to the instruments to make that easier, but there isn't a. It's literally you got like go forward and back, so like seeing some of these instruments down here can be a bit more difficult. And I don't see. Wait, can we take a trip? Oh, I'm surprised it lets you go that much of the cabin. All right, let's go above these clouds.
Boeing 787 contact Fort Worth Center on 134.15. Good day.
134.15 for Boeing 787.
And my mom said I would never amount to anything.
X-ray 787 8,700 feet.
Look who's talking now, Mom.
X-ray 787 Fort Worth Center altimeter 30.05. Continue as planned.
Don't worry about the landing gear, okay? Just pretend like on this angle, you can't see it. Let's bring on this
Good day.
drone cam.
728, please expedite your descent 5,000 feet.
125.0.
Oh, I think the autopilot is on now. It's taking.
Regional approach Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787 9,500 feet.
Boeing Alpha Sierra.
I think I got to set my drone cam on a different button. It's probably set it on the bad button.
05. Continue as planned.
That goes landing gear might be next to throttle. All right, we're going and check in a second.
Leaving my airspace radar service. Terminated. Squawk
God, we got.
1200.
Okay, landing gear next.
Approved.
Thing is, I can't zoom in to see right now.
Frequency change approved Boeing 787. Fort Worth Center Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray
I think this is the landing
787
gear.
is type Boeing B78X 6 miles south of
We can
DFW
click
10,300
speed brakes.
Request flight following.
Boeing Alpha Sierra, X-ray 787 Fort Worth Center. Squawk 6536.
Pitch trim,
Squawk 653,
parking brake,
Boeing
flaps.
787.
Boeing 787 radar, contact 4 miles, south of DFW 11,100 feet.
Charlie, breaker. I don't know where the landing gear is.
01.
Dude, it should be.
Roger, Boeing
Unless it's on this
787.
side. And this is basically what you do a lot of. Like learn to fly. I've seen even the hardcore community, like, this is what they do. It was like, oh, I don't fly this plane all the time. I don't know where to. It should be right here. Usually it's like. Is there a button? No, we can't find it. Alright, let's go down a bit. This first look is going to go on forever. I'm having just a lot of fun just to play this as a basic flight simulator right now. Yeah, like, it gets very hardcore. Uh-oh, this is, I'm going too fast. It doesn't like this. It might fail me out because there's too much. There's too much. Landing gear still deployed, taking damage, excessive damage. Oh, retract landing gear. Just right on the D-pad? Oh, the video. Okay, thanks, video game. Now you tell us. I swear I pressed that. We'll cut all that out. It's fine. Okay, I think my engine power is too low. Wait, it feels like my engines are off. What's going on? Did I turn them off? A lot of people I've heard say that a lot of the autopilot stuff is still bugged. Like sometimes it takes control and sometimes it doesn't. And a lot of the times when you fly some of these bigger planes, a lot of the autopilot stuff is on. You can turn it off, but I haven't got to that lesson yet, so I have no clue how to turn it off. All right, and I totally don't know how to bring up my engines. This is bad. Yeah, the engine power is on autopilot. Oh, there's lag. All right, this is way intimidating to fly. It's not like one of those smaller planes. It's like, oh no, I've got to actually learn stuff here. Is that the eject button? You're free, go! All right, wasn't that eject button? All right. Oh, everything just stopped beeping all of a sudden. I wasn't scared. You're scared. I wasn't scared. You're scared. Okay. And if you wasn't scared, drop a like, subscribe. I feel like that's the perfect place to call it. We are going to be doing some, like, going through a lot of those training missions over on Twitch. If you're interested in that, we're going to be playing this for a couple more hours. Or if you want to see this video at a way higher quality because YouTube is going to compress the shit out of it, there'll be a link in the description. Don't forget we stream a couple times a week over on Twitch. Got community Discord and I post on Twitter all the time. All that information will also be in the description. Come check us out. Once again, we are playing on Xbox Series X. Keep in mind this is a review copy provided by the publisher. Yeah, I'm enjoying this. Just set your expectations. Remember, this is a simulator. It ain't really a video game. Simulator in video game form. It is out on Game Pass if you wanna just download this to see what it's all about. Like now, it's like a first party game, so it's not gonna leave Game Pass anytime soon. I'm assuming. Yeah, if you are interested, you can get everything with that basic package and see what this is about. And then your mileage varies, right, depending on how hardcore you want to go. Again, I got a review code when it came to PC because I really wanted to cover it on PC, and that dream was not a dream, because even though I got a decent streaming PC, originally when this first came out, this required such a big beefy PC. Like I couldn't run this at an enjoyable experience, so then I didn't. So I'm glad this come to Xbox. So I'm mainly a console gamer here. So it's nice to sit back on your couch, you know, and just fly around and have a fun experience with this. Very cool. You know, if you are interested, you should probably go A/B some of those early flight simulator games and see how much of a massive jump it is. It'll be interesting to see what they continue to do with this product. They have got like a dev diary development line to see what they're working on next, and I think they update and do like a stream over on Twitch every couple of weeks. If you are interested in that stuff, probably go check that out for the hardcore stuff. Yeah, and I think with that, we're gonna call it with this one. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, follow, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you thought. Turn those notification bells on so you do know when new videos drop. Other than that, we're gonna call it with this one. I'll catch you next time. Much love. Peace. All right, let's give it some welly and let's fly over Bora. Oh, hold on. Bora's airfield is here. I'm assuming you would take... Also, this is very dangerous. You shouldn't be flying over an airfield like this. Planes could be coming into land. But I'm assuming you take like a boat from here to go to the islands, right? Then where is the tourist section? God damn, these are some blue ass beaches, man. I want to go on holiday here. Wow. Oh my days, imagine you lived here. I never have to deal with Twitch and YouTube again. Wow, is that the shadow of my plane? All right, let's go. What's that say? All right, let's slow this down. All right, I'm gonna try land this bad boy. See how hard this is. Give me some flaps. All right, that's enough flaps there. What changes when I move flaps? Okay, the flaps are literally... Oh, don't stall on top of people's houses.
Stall. Stall. Stall.
Wow, there's certain bits in this game where it's just freaking gorgeous.